last winter, we were contacted by a group of young, aspiring filmmakers here in the Kenora area, and they let us know that they had made a film with barely any budget, and they wanted us to have a look at it. So we looked at it, my co-producer Darby and I, and we were thoroughly impressed. It's called Grey Point, and you have to see it to believe the amount of talent that these young people have that put it together. So I'm here this evening with Glyn Bowerman and Matthew Kennedy and Connor Sweeney, our filmmakers. So I've seen the film, you guys. Tell me a little bit about how the story came about, the Grey Point story when you were starting. Obviously, it had to start with a story before you made a film, right? So I'm gonna, Matt, you field this one, and how did the story, who wrote the story, what happened with it?
Well, it went through many changes. It actually started with Glyn, who wanted to make a musical.
Okay.
He wanted to make a slasher movie musical, but then we ran that through our minds for a while and realized that it would take longer than one summer to make a whole musical with dancing and all that. So then we came up with several different stories, and I don't know if any of the others want to fill in on the stories,
so
but
if we can just go to Glenn here
sure.
with the mic. All right, bud. So were you thinking like Rocky Horror Picture Show thing, or what?
I'm not sure. We had one solid scene that we were gonna base a whole movie in which the killer has a tap off with one of the protagonists, and then we smartened up.
Okay.
tap dancing competition.
Yeah.
So originally the killer was going to have a tap dancing competition with the hero?
Yeah.
Oh.
I had just seen Chicago. I was pretty jazzed about that. And,
and Matt and I had seen
Can we? Yeah.
had seen a movie called Cannibal the Musical, which is directed by Trey Parker and Matt Stone, who did South Park. But this is what they did in college, and we were kind of inspired by that. But we all realized that it would be a lot too much work to do.
Gotcha.
So we put it on the burner. We'll do it later.
Okay, so Connor, the actual base story for Grey Point, okay, because right, every film starts with a story, was written by whom? Was it a collaboration between the three of you?
Yeah,
or?
it was the three of us we spent, not, how long did we go?
I don't know, like 2 months, I think, or something.
And talking about it, and then the three of us would sit and just write it down and put our own ideas and put what we wanted the characters to say down on paper.
Okay, good enough. Matt, when the movie starts, there is this incredible build-up. You're watching a boat come in to just travel over the lake, and it's approaching this area. And that impressed me the most because it was so well done. And I don't know if you guys realize that or not, but you did it so well. And the movie is suspenseful before it even starts because of that introduction. The introduction is just awesome.
Thank you.
So tell me about that. Like, how did you guys come up with it?
Well, going across the water was inspired by The Shining, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, with Jack Nicholson in the hotel. And it starts with a shot going across the lake in a helicopter, sort of, and then it lifts up and goes over the highway. So we thought of that water shot going across the water, and then thought of how it could just go around the lake and bring you to the camp and just sort of show like the constricting channels of the lake and stuff was actually what it said in the script.
Yeah, you did it. It was awesome. Glyn, when when that filming started, okay, tell me how you did this. Like, did you have like what kind of camera were you using for this whole thing?
All right, we had a really good camera that we were on tap to use, and we were really excited about it. It's nearly professional grade, if not professional grade, and we were going to get it for free because we had a friend who owned it and he was going to lend it to us, but he sold it for beer money.
You traded it for a guitar?
Oh, a guitar. That's a little better.
One or the other.
So we've quickly found another friend who had a very high-grade family video camera with digital capabilities. And so that's what we ended up using.
And is that for the whole film you used?
That's the whole film.
John, that's great. That's great. Connor, just to flip back over to you. You had a soundtrack and everything for the film.
We did.
Music. Tell me about that, because I know there were some local artists that were involved in that.
We had a soundtrack and a score. So the soundtrack was provided by Matt Chapesky, who's a local singer, and Chronic Breaker, and is that all?
And my old band.
And
So that doesn't
Matt's
matter.
old band, more or less.
And who is Matt's old band? Give it up.
Was Kyle Naniska,
Yeah, and
Reese Laffin, and
Reese.
Matt.
Okay.
And then the score was done by Matt all by himself, which was very impressive. Would you like to
Yes.
tell about your score?
Yes.
Oh,
Tell us
sure.
about the score, Matt.
Well, that goes back to Matt Chapesky as well, because I used his large keyboard with many options on it and his recording equipment, and went there and brought the footage, and we put the footage into his computer, and then he would play the scene while recording the music, and then I had made up different scores for different scenes, and I would play them as the scene went out, like the scene going across the water. I'd written ahead of time and been working on it, and when Wayne kills himself in the start out of the boat and stuff. But then, like, the scary music that happens was just sort of improvised, and after, I think it was just a couple of nights, it was all done, and Glyn came one night and played a high, sad note while I played the bottom stuff, and teamwork got the job done.
That is just incredible. Glyn, who came up with the name for the film?
The name for the film is actually the name of the cottage.
Yeah.
It was always named Grey Point since Matt's family bought it off the...
So there really is a cottage named Grey Point.
Yeah, it's now the Kennedys' permanent home.
Okay.
They're fixing it up to make it...
3 names, though.
Okay. Neat.
The 3 names.
Just
I'll let you tell about the three.
tell us about the 3 names.
Well, Connor.
It's okay.
Connor.
Okay, Connor.
We first started out writing the script under the title of The Morning After. That was Matt's idea. Glenn and I had nothing to do with it, but morning was spelled M-O-U-R-N.
Okay. Yeah.
We didn't like that idea. And then we considered calling it Ena, because it took place on Ena Lake. And then
The man from Eno Lake 2
was Glenn's idea. Another good idea. And then from there, we went on just using the name of the surroundings, and we came up with Grey Point, just using the name of the camp. And
Okay.
it worked.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm going to go back to Glyn a little bit. You had some actors that participated in your film, and I'm familiar with some of them just from Beaver Brae. But how did you get them all to come on board?
Well, we really left them no choice. We're very intimidating. You lose some of it on camera, but very intimidating people, you know. You can't say no, so we we came up with the proposal of working long hours into the night with no pay, except for pop and chips. They were good chips, though, the Doritos. So...
And there was the haunted chip bag, too.
Oh, yeah. A chip bag fell over mysteriously.
Oh, so it
That's our
became
story.
haunted.
Yeah, it's in the movie, too. It's
That's
in
great.
The film. It falls to the side.
That's great.
Need a new guitar? Maybe you're just starting out. Sounds and Systems can help you. Carrying a wide selection of guitars suited to meet the needs of any musician, Sounds and Systems can offer you great advice in finding the guitar that meets your needs best. Carrying great starter packs and a great selection of guitar tablature books and instructional books, Sounds and Systems will have you strumming out your favorite riff before you know it. Visit Sounds and Systems today and ask one of these guys to help you find the guitar that was meant for you. Sounds and Systems is located in Kenora's Shoppers Mall.
So these young men not only made a film, but if you can have a look here at their DVD, they are also marketing it. They made a cover, and I just want to read to you a few things that they have on this DVD for Grey Point. If you look at the cover, you can see that there's a critic who has noted that it's the best horror movie I've seen in years. And that was by Ted Kennedy of Kennedy Carpentry. And then on the back, they've taken the time and they've written a description of the film. And they've also added this, and it's quite interesting. Filmed with nearly no budget at all, 3 small-town boys wrote, directed, produced, and edited Grey Point with the help of their friends over the course of one summer in 2003. And then we also have various accolades here that Mary Foote has given them 4 stars. And also critique of this special edition was worth the wait by Kim Sweeney. So not only are they talented, but they know how to market their stuff too. Glyn, you got to tell me how you guys came up with the idea of making this actually a Grey Point special edition, and just the whole cover work that you did for the film.
All right, well, I'm actually going to turn that over to Connor because I was away at school while this was being designed.
Okay, Connor.
Well, for the special edition, we didn't want to, cut down on our fans and give them a blank DVD. So we knew that we had some extra stuff sitting around, so we plopped it onto the DVD. And for the cover, Matt had took some pictures with the digital camcorder. You could take pictures with it. Mm-hmm. And he pretty much just gave me all the pictures and said, knock yourself out, do whatever. So I found the picture of the knife on the computer, and I used Adobe Photoshop to cut it and paste it. And I went through a bunch of different covers, some with the mailbox that he gave and some with different shots of the camp, and I thought that one turned out the best. So that was one that I used.
Okay. It was very intelligent marketing, guys. It was just incredible. Are any of you, I know are all of you in university now or away at school at some point?
I have 1 year left of high school.
Okay, high school and Glyn?
No, I'm in
Glyn is in okay, so I've got Glyn and Matt in university, and Connor,
still in high
the baby, still in high school. Tell me about the future. Are any of you going into filmmaking?
Matt is in filmmaking.
Go for it, Matt. Then let me know about that.
Okay.
That's fine. I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to U of W at the moment. I'll be starting my 2nd year in the fall, and I'm taking a theater major with a minor in filmmaking. I'm not sure exactly how it's working right now, but but I'll be taking filmmaking at U of W. And Glyn.
Okay, Glyn.
I am in the Creative Ensemble program at York University for theater.
Okay.
That's going pretty well.
Just describe that for me a little bit. The Creative Ensemble, what does that entail? Like, what do they have you doing?
It's a kind of experimental, inventive theater. You have a group of 24, they're your classmates, and you pretty much just do whatever you can to make original groundbreaking theater.
Okay. So there's a lot of improvisation.
There's improvisation, dance, anything you can think of. You really just a program designed to push the envelope of theater boundaries.
Yeah. It sounds very free.
Yeah.
How are you liking it?
I love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's great. Okay, back to Conor. All right, help me out now. Now, if I recall, you were involved in Beaver Bray's production this year.
I was.
Crazy
in Crazy
for You.
Yes. I've been involved in all of the Beaver Bray plays, and next year will be my final one, which is kind of sad to think.
Yeah.
Same as Matt and Glyn, they both did all the plays themselves. And I got to star in two plays with them while they were still at Beaver Bray, so I enjoyed that.
Okay. And after high school, do you know yet?
High school, I'm going to major in filmmaking.
After high school, yeah. Great.
Yeah, I'm going to probably go to either Manitoba or Winnipeg, and then I'd be near Matt. And Glenn, we're just going to forget about.
Oh!
Just kidding.
So, you guys have been gracious enough. We have a special treat. When the boys came in for the interview this evening, they presented us with a sneak preview of a new, it's a compilation of 3 short films?
Yes.
And each short film is done by
Each
one of you
us.
individually. So we're really excited about that because that's going to be just awesome. So let me know about the new stuff. Start out, Matt.
All
Tell
right.
me.
Well, we're each doing our own individual short film, and they'll all sort of tie into each other in some little way, like something will happen in one that happens again in the other one, but from a different perspective, just little things tying them together, like Gus Van Sant's Elephant. I don't know if you've seen that, but it just came out.
Okay.
But we did have the idea before we saw that movie, just for the record.
Okay.
But,
So, so what is yours about?
well, mine is, if you've ever watched A Baby Story on TLC, mine is a parody of that. Our friend Aaron Bland, who is in Grey Point, is having a child, and it's sort of a documentary about him having the child in the style of A Baby Story. And that's actually what I've given you a sneak preview of, because that's all that has been edited so far, and it's not even done editing, but it's in the works, and there's some disturbing footage there, but I hope you enjoy it.
Okay. So, Glenn, do you have your part of this in your head? Like, what's your part going to be?
Mine is fully scripted. We were just filming some of it earlier on today. It's the story of a man who accidentally kills his best friend in a hunting accident, and instead of fessing up, decides to stow away the body in a lake. And eventually things take a turn for the worse, and he gets caught.
So we go from A Baby Story to a man killing his best friend and storing the body in a lake, and now to you, Conor.
Well, being a horror fan that I am, I decided to do a zombie film, which is highly inspired by some of Peter Jackson, who did Lord of the Rings early movies, like Evil Dead and Bad Taste. My one's about Dead Alive?
Yeah, you said Evil Dead.
Evil Dead, Sam Raimi, not Peter Jackson.
It's okay.
And it's about a man that loses his job, so then he's homeless, and he's living in his car with his best friend. And when his best friend makes him mad by wasting the money on their tapes, they get in a fight and tumble down a hill and come upon this cabin, which they find deserted and start living in. But unfortunately for them, they contract a zombie virus and slowly start to turn into zombies, and it shows their descent into that.
So we're going to be experiencing TLC's A Baby Story to murdering your best friend and stowing the body in a lake, all the way over to becoming zombie-like at some point in this whole trilogy.
You bet.
Sounds exciting.
Didn't Aaron have to sink in this one today?
Matt, can you tell me that again? What happened?
Glyn will have to because I wasn't even there today.
All right, tell us what happened, Glenn.
Today we convinced our friend Aaron to submerge himself in a swamp outside my house. He plays my friend that I accidentally shoot. He's afraid of water. But we made him do it because very intimidating people.
Yes.
So
Got it. Got it. Well, you know what? I can't wait to watch it. Kenora, you got to watch for these three young men, because it wouldn't surprise me one bit if pretty soon we're going to be seeing them on the Junos or the... Is it the Junos? What am I looking for?
The Oscars.
Oscars. We'll take Oscars for sure.
Aim for the top.
Glenn, Matthew, and Connor, thank you so much for joining me this evening.
Need a new guitar? Maybe you're just starting out. Sounds and Systems can help you. Carrying a wide selection of guitars suited to meet the needs of any musician, Sounds and Systems can offer you great advice in finding the guitar that meets your needs best. Carrying great starter packs and a great selection of guitar tablature books and instructional books, Sounds and Systems will have you strumming out your favorite riff before you know it. Visit Sounds and Systems today and ask one of these guys to help you find the guitar that was meant for you. Sounds and Systems is located in Kenora's Shoppers Mall.
The following program contains scenes of coarse language. Viewer discretion is advised.